You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. This is 95.6 BRFM, the Isle of Sheppey's very own community radio station on 95.6 FM. This is the Monday Night Community Show with me, Daniel, and you may remember a few weeks ago we spoke to Cassie Fry all about wandering words, and one of the things she mentioned was how some poets were going to be doing some walks across Swale and Medway, and one of them was going to be at Elmley. Well, I went down and caught up with those poets just before they were going to walk across Elmley to find out what they were doing and just to talk to them about the project as well. And this is what happens when I was out and about and caught up with those poets. I'm hoping one of you can introduce us to the project firstly and introduce yourself as well.
Hello, I'm Michael Parker. I'm a poet, and what we're doing is going for an explore and seeing what words, what ideas, what things come to us from the environment of the swale.
So is this the first time you've been here?
It's the first time I've been here. I've been in Rochester and Canterbury around here a bit before, but it's the first time right out on the swale, out in the wilds over here. So
sort of an inspiring place, you're hoping?
Well, yes, we were on the other side of the river yesterday, and yeah, it was a marvellous day yesterday, wasn't it? The sun was shining, and yeah, I've never realised how beautiful it was around here, and we were picking blackberries and damsons and plums and chewing on the samphire and chatting as we went round. And
so there's no real plan, you sort of discover things as it happens.
It's an explore, it's an adventure, it's an adventure on your doorstep. It's going and seeing what it is that we find as poets. There are words everywhere. And everything's a metaphor as well, so as soon as you start saying I went out on a journey, it's the actual journey, the physical journey, and it's the journey of life and all of those kind of things. So we find words that we can share, tell people about the wonders that we're finding on our adventure.
So hopefully you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Arthur. I'm one of the poets ? Yeah, I came along because it's an incredible experience to, even if you're not doing it from a kind of poet's background, you spend a lot of time sort of working hard, and you're kind of 9 to 5 in an office doing that, and I think it's good to go out and take a breather. And obviously the air's so clean out here because it's just trees and trees for miles around, and it brings you back to that sort of natural feeling, and it opens something in your mind. It allows you to explore feelings, personal, to look for those words, and to even if you're not, if you want to make a poem, or if you're trying to just say something else, if you're trying to think of something you're trying to say to someone you love or someone you care about, it's a good place to come to experience that and to try and work out what you really want to say to people.
Is this something you'd normally do?
I wouldn't. Well, the project is something that I wouldn't traditionally do because, again, I wasn't particularly aware of these sort of things before. But I do go on wanders, and I do go and think about things. I'm doing philosophy at university, and so it's one of those things where you find open spaces, you can try and find that sort of inspiration. So yeah, I suppose it is in a way, but it is and it isn't.
I understand you're also sort of meeting up round a campfire. Is that at the end of each day? Yeah,
at the end of in the evening, we all come back together and we go around a campfire. And again, it's that sense of community and coming together and sharing what we thought about and sharing what we've said. And it's it's really lovely. And again, there's nothing nicer than sharing some food and some stories with friends.
My name's Alex Velis.
What is your involvement in the project?
I'm a poet. I enjoy poeting, but also I want to get more into the teaching side, and in order to be able to teach appropriately and properly and the right things, you've got to learn from good teachers, and the best teachers are the people that are around you, and the ones that support you. And if you're being rubbish, tell you that you're being rubbish, and if you're being good, tell you that you're being good, but most importantly, they tell you why.
So as well as a discovering experience, it's also a learning experience for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, where we are right now at the Nature Reserve, I didn't even know this was a place. well, I mean, obviously I'm aware that nature reserves are places, but this one specifically I didn't know was a place. And and like Michael said yesterday, we were walking across the other side of the river, so it's really nice to see where we were yesterday and but see it from a completely different perspective, because yesterday we were skimming stones and climbing over stuff and eating plants, and I licked some mud. It was a different experience. Tasted like salt. And now this time I'm going to be looking at all the things that I did yesterday, but with hindsight and from a different point, literally a different perspective, and that's really cool.
So we are here at the Monday Night Community Show, continuing to hear the selection of interviews I did with the poets that I caught up with when I was out and about at Elmley, where we are keeping up to date with wandering words and wise words.
Hello, I'm Ellie Payne, and I'm one of the few female members on this trip, which is quite cool.
And what is your role within the project?
My role in the project, I'm a poet as well, but it feels really weird to kind of think of myself like that, because this is the first time that I've actually shared the things that I've written. And like yesterday, we were at Speaker's Corner in Chatham, and that was the first time I've ever shared anything I've written, and that was quite empowering and quite amazing.
So how did you find out about this project, and what made you want to get involved in it?
Well, I found out through Beth Quenko, the artistic director of Workers of Art, and I've kind of been doing projects with her over the last sort of few years, and I don't know, she mentioned it, and others were talking about it through word of mouth, and I just thought, yeah, why not? It sounds amazing to be able to be at one with nature and your creativity and see what comes out of it. I think that's really cool.
My name's Deke Dobson. I'm actually from Medway Towns and Swale, so it's quite nice. I'm the only one representing the Medway Towns in this particular project. It's great to get involved. I mean, being from Medway Towns and stuff, you kind of forget that you are situated in the middle of the countryside, because it is quite a built-up area, so it is really nice to sort of get away from that and come out to places like this so that you can collect your thoughts and, like we say, find inspirations, because inspiration comes in many different shapes and sizes. What someone finds inspiring could also not inspire someone else, so it is nice to be out here and do this, and as Alex said, learning from Michael, obviously established poet, and obviously we're just out here just sort of trying to find some inspiration, gain some knowledge, and also at the same time learn a few things, learn a little bit about ourselves as well as what's going on around us, because again, it's like Alex said, didn't really know that this place existed. I mean, being here, looking around, it's absolutely beautiful. Obviously you've got your industrial set inside the countryside settings, and I know you guys over in Sheppey do call this place paradise, so it's nice for us to come up here and actually find out why you call it paradise.
Well, it's one of those places on your doorstep, you don't always visit it, you tend to go further away. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, even a couple of weeks ago, with my family aside, we came down here to Laysdown, and normally we'd go to somewhere like Canberra, so it is good to come and discover, like say, things like this. It's on your doorstep and it's a gem. I mean, look around, it's just greenery, that's the beautiful thing about this sort of area, Kent itself. It is the Garden of England, and it should be explored. It has to be. There's so much to actually go and do once you scratch the surface and delve into the local sort of treasures that are floating about.
Well, I suppose that's one of the things this project's giving you the opportunity or getting you involved in doing.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, even after we've finished this project, it's somewhere that we can then come back with friends or on our own to find that inspiration, and also bring family along, so that everyone can enjoy it, and eventually, everyone's just the better for it, aren't they? It's a good experience for the soul.
So I understand there was a particular project you wanted to tell us about.
That's Word Out. It's basically a community of young poets from Canterbury, aged 15 to 26, that gives young people performing opportunities to showcase their voices and what they have to say.
The wonderful thing about Word Out is that we are trying to expand the area that we work in. We want poets and young people from all over Kent, and it doesn't just have to be poetry, it can be prose, it can be anything that you feel passionate about and you want to share with others. and that's all been inspired by the Wise Words Festival and things like that. So that's pretty cool.
So when is that festival?
It is coming up, actually. It's the 4th, 5th and 6th of September. Yeah, it's got lots of things going on. It's cool.
So who's actually supporting the project and give it its sort of start?
Well, we started working with Ideas Test on developing this project because there was a connection with what they're doing through the Wandering Words project and what we're doing about developing a poetry scene in Canterbury. So we applied for funding together and got Claw Poetry Foundation funding, and then have been working on this project together to make it happen.
So has it been what you wanted to achieve so far, and is it achieving those sorts of things?
Yeah, I think our idea was really that we could bring a group of young poets to walk and experience, to take time out of their everyday lives, really, to walk across and experience somewhere that they hadn't been before, and hopefully connecting with some poets and young people who are living here. I think we've achieved that. We're looking forward to our walk today at Elmley.
Actually, I was going to ask, how did you come to pick these different locations?
We wanted to experience different areas of Medway and Swale and Medway. So we were really looking at places where Ideas Test already had connections and where we could come in and work with people that they were already working with, so that we could have that connection with people, but also to experience different places. So yesterday it was very different in Chatham, of course, from coming out here and experiencing the nature reserve. So it was about diversity.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.